Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Hello, welcome back. Of course, it is me, the Demon King. I'm glad to be able to release this video to you all. By the time you'll be seeing this, it will officially be my birthday. Naturally, you will not be told anything more about it, just know that now it's the time to celebrate me because I am 1 year closer to my inevitable demise. On another note, I am reflecting on the past 8 years of mine that I've spent creating very unique stories. Many are being worked on to this day, and many that were abandoned before a single sentence could be written for it. I got a long list of over 40 stories / concepts, so let's begin. Broken Hero is my child, my greatest creation that I stuck with since its first concept in 2022. It is a story following an anti-hero fighting against the hidden evils of his world while conflicted whether his actions make him his own enemy. There's much more going on, but I'm sure you'll see it all soon enough. Broken Hero Nightmare is an alternate tale of Broken Hero, following the path when evil is victorious. Both are being worked on. This was a personal story. In full truth, it is a fanfiction using the world of My Hero Academia, swapping the villains with the heroes to completely reshape the main story. I find this very interesting and plan to get back to it one day for an official release on AO3, as that's the only place I could release a story like this. This is another ambitious project, combining all the worlds you see on screen now into a single universe. My favorite part about this idea is how the world changes and how the characters interact with one another. And in general, I just really love having all my favorite characters together. This will also be an AO3 story, so as much like the story behind it, I don't really have the rights to the characters, so I can't really make my own stuff on them actually anywhere else other than a fanfic site. Anyways, moving on. You're gonna see suspended a lot. Don't worry, it's a very normal thing with these projects. The Insanity Trilogy was my first ever story, built during the insanity that was 2020. At least I think it was. Can't remember, it was too long ago. It could have also been 2019. Anyways, the official version of it follows a girl who recently graduated from high school, where her life takes a turn into a mess of chaos, meeting a secret team of warriors who fight against an erratic villain from a different world. I plan to return to this after Broken Hero is finished. This was after Insanity, when I made a concept for a 5-season anime-like show following a team of rebellious agents who fight against a rising empire led by an old emperor. This was very complete. With each season planned, it'll be worked on again far into the future when I can actually review the possibility of the show. If you can imagine, a whole show would cost way more than any book normally would require voice actors and animators and far more assets than I have right now. Following the final ending of Broken Hero, an aging hero struggles with the idea of mortality and true heroism. It was a typical story of passing the torch. I'm not sure what will become of this, as truly this was nothing more than a concept, a draft that I'm still not yet confident on. Dead, gone, and we'll never see again. One of my favorite storylines, the tale Kurosaki tells of his rise to power after his father is killed by a rival clan. It follows a Yakuza in Japan working to take back what is theirs. Like the others, I'll get back to it one day. I never made much of this other than the concept alone. A young prince works to take the throne after his father goes missing. Along his journey comes love and destruction. It shares many similarities with Kurosaki, but they remain different enough to be hopefully successful one day. I'm sure if any of them had any bit of real writing to them, then you would see all their very striking similarities. but they still take place in completely different worlds, and I think that's something that each series would show. Following the main character, Broken Hero, the story shows his time before as a hunting vigilante, showing his journey to become the stable man seen in Broken Hero. I think there was a lot to do with it, and I'm hopeful about its future. The entire idea on its own is similar to other ones that I've talked about in the past that were suspended or are just in the concept phase. The main difference about this idea or here is primarily because of the type of tale that I'll be telling, and something that I think I'm very proud of when it would come to actual messaging and telling the community something important, sharing an idea. This was very silly, I know. The concept put Zero in the DC universe, making him fight original villains. It had decent fight concepts and characters, but I ended up hating it too much. I mean, come on, like, it usually happens sometimes, not too often, where I end up putting characters into an alternate universe just to have them fight original villains and characters. Honestly, it's something that I feel like a lot of fanfic writers would deal with when they create a completely original characters to work in a completely different world. Eventually, I think I just ended up collecting enough of original content that I decided I could do this all on my own. This was a very creative idea of how the world of Broken Hero was after a destructive attack by a supervillain. They both show the same tale, but they have different ideas attached. Vigilantes would be a story about a team of vigilantes battling injustice, while Blue Devil follows specifically one vigilante in a more traditional form of a hero story. I think it could be cool. I mean, the concept of vigilantes in the modern day is something I think that is frowned upon by any of the people on the other side. So the idea of having a whole team of vigilantes fight against I guess I would say an army of thugs, and almost like the Defenders or any other street hero team up, it would be very different than any normal superhero team in comics or manga, and it would show a lot about trying to, I guess, rise up and trying to do the ultimate right thing. So you know the man on the internet who made an Undertale musical, primarily the pacifist route and very little genocide? I wanted to make a fully fleshed out musical around the genocide route, though there were many issues. For one, I have no ability to make music. I wrote some songs, but took actually, of inspiration from other artists. In full truth, I wanted to fill the gaps and make a complete narrative, but it's not really practical or even morally right for me to try to make it. So the idea has been abandoned, and I think that truly is for the best. All the songs and all the potential that I saw in the past was seen, and it wasn't anything unique that I could do on it. And you're going to see a lot in the far future how I'm, I guess, very careful about making sure that anything that comes out of me production wise is unique and very different to any other idea. With my attempt at making a musical, I thought of making a completely original musical with my own music. It had the same problem as in that I still do not have the proper equipment to make said music. It's abandoned for now. But much like the previous project, many songs were written. It's just that there's nothing I can use to properly make it. And in truth, that's a shame, really. I think I may have said about it before that I planned to make music, and I just haven't at all found the proper time to try to make those dreams visible. Such a horrible tale it started as, but now it's more with the chance to see itself open to the public. Psycho of Agony was the story of two strangers stepping into Freddy's with their lives changing into endless cycle of agony. Truly, that's the best way to summarize it. Titles mean something, as you should know. I promise you'll see much more of this in the future, and I promise there's many other times that I'll talk in greater detail about this project, and the same goes for Broken Hero as well. If any of you know what Psycho-Agony is made with, you should know all of its full potential. The mods I used to make COA had many animatronics that had to go unused. The best way to fix that is with a completely different story in the same universe. It excites me with the potential of other random locations with rich lore. I really hope we get there one day, and I really hope someone else would be willing to take over at that time, because I think there's a lot of potential to be had with just doing a whole nother story set in the same universe, but also something that could be run by a different person who could give a completely different take on the idea. Finally, a tale from Roblox. The game platform that's a little too popular. I just don't see it. All the lore of this fascinated me as a kid, and inspired me to build my first ever Roblox story. You've seen those, right? The Last Guest, The Other. Real cool stuff. Back then, I loved the Overseers. My best friend loved the Core Blocks. Then we made a low quality story with those characters and custom characters just for the series. I have a sneaking suspicion we'll see the return of this in the not so distant future. Along with bad Roblox stories, I made bad Fortnite stories inspired by Fortnite roleplayers. Honestly, I was inspired by a lot of roleplayers. I'm not too happy with it, but it got me where I am, so at least something was done right. But there really weren't too much more added on to this. In my opinion, it was a lot of self-inserts into there, and as soon as those self-inserts were going to be used for something in the right way, it was just scrapped, and I kind of hated to see that, but at the same time, I don't think it was completely my fault for abandoning everything that was there, because none of it was my work, and I'm happy where I am now. We're working on all characters that are mine, and I can use to do anything that I want with it. This is technically my second Minecraft story. I thought it was cool. It followed knights whose king summoned a monster for power. That goes as well as you expect. I thought it would have cool mods, but it hasn't received updates in months. Following Book 1 of Broken Hero, a war takes place and a new series is born. It follows numerous sides of the war, taking the time to view each narrative and revealing new storylines that would otherwise never be seen. With that, I've gone over 20 stories that I've created in the past, with many still following me. I hope you liked some of these, and if you really liked one idea, show some support for it in the comments below. Of course, if you were paying attention, which I don't ever expect you to, you know that wasn't all I had to show. This will be part 1, and I will release part 2 whenever I can. I made this decision while writing this script because, well, clearly to, I think, anyone watching this, it's just that I have a lot on my mind to talk about it. Many ideas had to get cut short because I just couldn't spend all that much time, and I don't want to spoil everything that I had planned if those ideas, well, if I ended up going forward with any single one of them. I still have about 20 more ideas. I think, well, wait, a little more than that in the next video planned, and I hope to talk about them in a little more detail. And then after that, I'll, both videos will be out. I'll probably make a whole duo video, part 1 and 2 together. Maybe in like 2 months or so. Give some time for these videos each. Anyways, as always, enjoy your day and stay tuned.